It is time to lower and lean the super long Birdies bed. These are 4 8-in-1s put together with a custom trellis for lower and lean that my husband Jace built using lumber from a local mill. It's Eastern red cedar. We have the spools here from Johnny Seeds, as well as the clips to hold them in place, and the clips are designed so they have little teeth so they can't slide up and down like this, and they just clip loosely so your tomato doesn't get damaged or strangled. I already have picked close to 13 to 14 pounds. So I walk around. This bed has 50 tomato plants in it, 27 feet long, and somewhere over 300 onions, well over 300 onions, maybe 400 onions or so. Basil, lettuce, a bunch of alyssum, and a couple snapdragons, some parsley here and there, some marjoram, marigold on the corner there. You can see as the plants grow up to the cable, this is when we need to lower the spool down. So that's why we prune these really well on the bottom here. They should be pruned to the bottom fruit set, so this one actually needs to get pruned off here. So as we start, we're gonna lower it and move it over. So I'm actually gonna start all the way over here on the end, I think. I'm gonna go this direction. That one is gonna go to the back. So this guy here, even though these ones are a little shorter, I'm still gonna move them so that I have space, because the majority of this row and the majority of this other row is very close. There's just a few up here in the north end that are a little bit shorter. So what's gonna happen is the vine, when I lower this, the vine, everything's gonna sag down, and that vine here can actually touch the ground and start rooting into the ground. And this hook will go from this side to that back side. So we'll move this guy over a little bit, move this one, lower it, put it over, and then I will clip it up again. And that's when you want to, after you've moved it, after you've lowered it, and after you've clipped it, is when you're actually going to come back and clip and prune any of the suckers. You don't want to do it ahead, because if something happens and you break off this main stem during the move, during the lowering, or during the clipping, you can actually make this the main stem, the sucker. So I'm going to try to get to work. I will continue to update you guys, but there's, for the most part, you want to make sure that the fruit isn't touching the soil, and that you are saving your final pruning of suckers until you've moved everything, just to be safe. So those are the big tips. The other one is always hold your line. So you want to hold your line when you let out the spool. And I will have my bag of clips ready, I'll have my pruners ready, and my 5-gallon bucket as well to do this project. Now that this tomato is moved to the back here, you can kind of see this stem is leaning this way. I will wait until it gets a little taller and I'll lower it a little bit more, most likely. So it's a little bit short, so I'm letting it kind of have a nice little swoop. So now I can actually move to this one, and this one's going to be a little easier. So I'm going to let out the line, hold the line. I'm going to pinch up here and let that hook fall underneath. Let it out one spool at a time. And you'll see here, this is the main vine. So I may actually come back and clip this before I lower and lean it. You can see there's some movement in the vine down there. So I want to train it to come straight over here and then back up. Now you can see this vine has come over here. The tomatoes aren't touching the ground. There's some room there. And then it goes up, and the string is where the original tomato on the row had been. And now I have room for this next one to move over. So I'm gonna keep going. I'll update you guys as I make it down the line. Jace is over there cleaning up some of our compost piles. But I was able to get through the whole first row of lower and lean tomatoes. So you can see now they have another foot or so of room to grow. Some of these over here were much taller. So this is string, we wanted it to be up about here, which would have helped us a lot with these guys. But it'll just take a little bit more moving than I'd planned because of the sag. We might need to add extra supports in here next year. But overall, you can see how the vines and the tomatoes, you can see like this one, I need to probably raise up a little bit more here. But all the tomatoes ideally will not touch the ground, and all the vines are going to start laying down as they move. We got a lot of tomatoes coming. I gotta get ready to get the mindset of making all this sauce and salsa like we did last year. So that worked out so well. So now I have an empty space over on this corner. So this back plant is gonna move over to this side. And I'll just make a little row between the onions and kind of move the alyssum. The nice thing about alyssum is it's easy to move. And you can see some of these are okay, but then you got the middle ones that are getting a little close. So I may just do the back one for now and kind of adjust these down and not fully lower them yet. These are different types. That back type was Big Beef, and that was definitely growing the fastest. Then we have Cherokee Carbon up most of here, and then Rutgers, and then there's a mix for these last couple plants. Thank you for watching. Please give us a like and subscribe if you haven't. I appreciate you guys. Happy gardening. So I went through and finished pruning and realized I should probably show you guys what it looks like. Now you can actually see all of the tomatoes. I'm really loving the lower and lean method. There's a lot of good videos on YouTube also. I have a few others. And again, the spools are from Johnny Seeds, and the raised bed is a Birdies bed. It's 4 of the low 8-in-1s or 15-inch height. You can get them from Epic Gardening, and I do have a code FLICKR5 for 5% off. But if you're gonna order more than 1 or 2, make sure you get extra supports and things like that, and you can always email them directly, or feel free to message me on Instagram. I'm happy to help you. We absolutely love the beds and love how the lower and lean works.